I move that we start early.
Put the blinds on the window.
I'll support that.
It's like a watch pot never boils.
It's very true.
Right.
It's amazing how you think of time. It takes normal time whether you watch it or not, but you just don't realize it.
We know.
6 o'clock, we're going to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're going to have public comment. Roll call.
Keep glasses on.
Yeah, I guess.
Sites.
Here,
Work.
Here, Zelensky.
Here. Heller. Here. Johnson.
present. Now we'll have public comment at 6:01.
Well, still says almost 6:01. What do you want to call it?
6:01.
All right.
Supposed to be here, right?
Yep.
Okay, Peggy case 15398 Homestead Road. I'm speaking as an individual, not as the chair of the committee right now. And I have a response to the letter that was in the record page dated September 3rd, by Jim Brower regarding the budget surplus in the township. Jim Brower failed to mention that he recently resigned from his position as board trustee in Union Township and had been part of numerous decisions by the board regarding how tax money is spent in the township. As all townships do, Inland Township has to review and revise its plan every 5 years. It is doing so now and has put out a lengthy survey once more to gather input. What he failed to mention is that several citizen input opportunities have been offered in the past few years, and nothing was done with the results because certain board members didn't want to spend the money or because they made requirements for bids impossible to meet. He also failed to mention that $200,000 of that surplus is captured ARPA money that was put into the general fund before the grant would have expired if not allocated. Those funds did not require 3 bids, as some board members insisted, and could have been used to support some of the projects community input has shown that were desired. That ARPA money came due to the pandemic, and it was meant to support community efforts to get people outside and build infrastructure the community wanted. We had hoped to spend some of that money on the parks in the township. Some on the board required 3 bids for anything, and it was just not possible to get 3 for something. When we did get bids, they were often taken as too expensive. At the township park on Lake Ann Road, we tried for 2 pickleball courts, a new basketball court, and an upgraded playground to replace the dated existing one, 2 benches, new benches, and a real bathroom. That was 2 years ago, and none of it has happened except the 2 benches. Things have been a bit different at the new National Area Park on Lamb Road. Developing that park has been turned over to the Parks and Rec Committee about 3 years ago. The township bought it on a tax foreclosure, and it was to be developed as a natural area park, 40 acres of beautiful red oak and white pine. The committee, formed of people who value forest land and with board approval began to cut walking trails for use in all seasons, put in picnic tables and benches, purchased a kit or a gazebo, and had an intention of holding nature programs in the future. We chose to work as volunteers and turned down the efforts of the board to pay us for attending meetings and working on the park. We only requested funds for excavating the drive and the parking area, got 3 bids for that, getting trail signs and markers, putting in 3 picnic tables and 5 benches, and purchasing a small gazebo and a kit, which we have successfully installed. It includes 2 dog stations as well. That park is now ready for an official opening we scheduled for September 28th. When we discovered an infestation of oak wilt on one corner of the park, we were only able to get approval to deal with part of the problem last winter and had the dead trees cut down and removed by partials. We should have done the trenching to stop the spread the district forester suggested, but debate went on too long as a few board members kept throwing up obstacles and the window closed for getting the equipment last year. Brower was on that board. Over the winter, more trees died, and apparently we have approval to cut 25 more of them down. However, without the trenching, which now requires a more expanded area, more of the trees will die each year. Yet one board member has found a way to stall the process and claim we are not allowed to spend our money to do the necessary trenching this year. Unfortunately, this false claim has meant the window has possibly already passed to get the equipment from DNR before next year, and the oak will have spread further. Most of the people in the township we talk to live here because they value the forest, the diversity of living things, and the opportunities to enjoy the natural world. We feel an obligation as stewards of the forest to protect these magnificent red oaks if we can. We should not be looking for ways to skip these responsibilities or cast them as useless expenses of this so-called extra money. Are we supposed to wait for the elusive master plan to decide we save the oaks? None of this is mentioned in Brower's letter. He never explains what expenses he thinks the board has been negligent about. Are we ever going to implement the wishes of the community to improve the park on Lake Ann Road, or are we going to continue to find obstacles instead of solutions? One more community survey won't do the trick. There are obstacles on the current board and a few ex-board allies in the wings, Brower among them, who find endless things to complain about and throw up constant misinformation. They are not doing the citizens of Inland Township any favors. The trees will still die, the township park on Lake Ann Road will remain a disgrace, and the surplus will rot in the bank, waiting for the accounting to catch up with the required reporting that is normally due. It is not clear what Brower thinks we are spending unwisely on, as the only thing I see we do without a lot of hassle is support the fire department when it needs upgraded equipment. As a property owner in the middle of a forest, I sure appreciate those expenses. I have no problem paying taxes when the good of the whole is what they are for, and none of my neighbors are complaining either. People move here because the quality of life is good. If there is an exodus, as Brower claims, due to taxes, it sure isn't in my part of the township. Just the opposite. People are moving in, and we should continue to offer amenities they value. It's not clear what, quote, stupid means in Brower's letter. There are no specifics given on how money has been misspent. Perhaps the website, which has so far been pretty non-functional, will get more results. In the meantime, I hope the current board will figure out how to work around the obstacles and implement the wishes of citizens who have already spoken up for the past several years. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody? Go ahead, Jim.
I wish the Record Patriot had provided the number of words that were just heard, but they have a limit, so I was only able to go so far in my comments. And I don't feel that I need to defend myself, but the Planning Commission is actually putting out a good survey, though I think it's missing a few key elements. There is a budget surplus of $1.6 million, and Master Casterson, our consultants, which is also the consultant used by the county, suggests that it should be, for a budget that hovers around $1 million a year, we should have a surplus, but it should be something in the neighborhood of $200,000, not 1.6 million. And that surplus wasn't just created in the last year or two. It's been building for well over a decade, needlessly, because there hasn't been adequate understanding of how to create or build a budget for a township. As I say in the letter to the editor, fortunately, the board is underspent and not overspent, and we're in a predicament of having a surplus. Getting back to the master plan survey, which is generally pretty good, it's missing a few key elements, and one is more discussion of what to do with the budget surplus. And certainly if there's a need, I think we should spend the money. If there isn't the need, this is these guys' money. It's not yours. You're spending other people's money. You're spending certainly some of your own money if you're a taxpayer. But it's something that I think needs to be taken more seriously. And missing in the survey is real discussion about property. We have a 30-acre chunk of land that was purchased during a special meeting that no one really knew about. Nothing was really planned for in a proper discussion. It certainly wasn't in the master plan. And I've never heard any clear plans of why that property was purchased. There's 40-acre Land Road Park, and looking back in the records, I haven't seen proper discussion of those plans. And a lot was put into it the first year that I was the trustee, with supposedly support of the committee chair for Parks and Recreation, not paying any attention to the park that actually gets used. We have Bennett Hall, which is mentioned in the survey, but not mentioned in great detail, is that it's about to become a money pit. If we're going to keep it, there's a lot of work that needs to be done to it. So the surplus that we have, let's leave it at 1.5 million, 1.3 million if you take the proper surplus away from it. You had the property that we don't need, sell that, and we've got more money than we know what to do with it. Doesn't mean that we should spend it. We should spend it if we have a real need, but there needs to be a community effort, and there hasn't been a lot of effort put into talking to the community. I think the survey is a good one. Everyone should take, I encourage you to take the survey if you haven't already. And the chair of the Planning Commission is also accepting letters that will be included in the master plan. So if there is something that's not covered in the survey, go ahead and write a letter, and that will be included long-term in the master plan. So thank you for the time.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comment?
William Swordall, 16341 Brundage Road. I think it was either April or May, happened to come upon some notices that our township has been receiving checks from the state and Internal Revenue Service. And at that time in the May meeting, it was brought that the board directed the clerk to find out why or what was going on and bring it to the board with all these checks that were coming back in. Well, for whatever reason, she didn't do her job. So I FOIA'd the information on these checks. This is my spreadsheet. I'll give you information later from the supervisor. But looking into this and the facts that are black and white in writing from the Internal Revenue Service, state of Michigan, I've come across numerous periods where we've had to pay interest on taxes, liability taxes. Back on 7/17 of 2023 for tax period 7/31, for the period of 4/30/23 to 6/30/23, 61 days late, $540. Interest 635. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 failure to make proper tax deposit penalties. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I haven't gone through the list yet. That are failure to pay penalties. Penalties. 31 days old, late, 3208. Another one, 110 days late, 13/16/43. Here's one, the remaining credit overpaid, $3,002 and a penny. There's a couple of credits that come back. Refunds paid, $591.46. Tax credit, $225.84. There's an overpayment of $8,000 in here. And it goes on and on. 31 days, 110 days, 35 days, 61 days, 31 days, 110 days. This is in 24. 35 days, 76 days. We're paying penalties. And trying to sort this out. I don't know how she can do her job. It doesn't make any sense. It's a hit and miss. You got money coming back. She hasn't said a word to the board. The board just happened to find out about it. And they directed her to get this information in May, June, July, August, September. She has failed to do it. She doesn't do it. Why? Either she doesn't want to or she doesn't understand to. Now, why aren't the trustees asking about this? Why don't you people do something? Why don't you bring it up? This is taxpayers' money. We're paying taxes on it. Failure to pay. Failure to pay, 51. I see some tax credits, 2871 back. But it goes on and on and on. And I don't even know if I have all the information. Because Rose had to put it together. But there's checks. But why didn't she say something? What is she hiding? Now we're paying another company to straighten out our books because they don't balance. She gets $24,000 a year to do that job. We're probably over $30,000 paying them to straighten it out. Are the books balanced? Yes or no? If they're not balanced, you should be screaming. You should be saying something. I know other people are saying something. But this is the township is paying her money to do a job. This is not harassment or picking on her. This is failure to do your job. Plain and simple. She can't do her job. Here's proof. Black and white. Fines, failure to pay, failure to file. Why? Can't be that hard. It's only month to month. So someone needs to do their job. Can't do the job, save township time, find some other place to be, because I'm tired of paying people for not doing their job.
Thanks for your comment.
Yep.
Do we have any other comment?
Alexis Skyberg from Pink's Trail, still concerned about the blight next to my property.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I have a comment about the account payable policy that you've got going on here. I think, and I mean, it's great that you're looking at manners and MTA sample, but from somebody that's actually done accounts payable for a number of years, that was like my major job, parts of my major job. I think there needs to be a little bit more input, like, did any of you guys get the checks to review? And when did you get them for tonight's approval process? I think that you need to look a little more in depth and in detail, and things need to go to the clerk a week ahead of time, giving every one of you guys the opportunity to have a week to come in and review before they're presented for payment. Getting them at the last minute on the desk, and did any of you guys, and I know you don't have to answer, but it would be nice to know if anybody actually got the time to sit down and actually review them. Because after last month's meeting, you had made the comment that you came in and reviewed them. When I got the checks to send out, there were still several errors on them. I had issues with signing the checks, but was reminded that if you all approve them, they have to go out. And so they went out with errors. And I think you guys need to really take the job serious and look at them and give yourselves enough time to review them and not just the 1 day or 2 hours.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, we're going to close public comment at 6:19. Approval of meeting agenda.
Just one question. So in these reports columns, should we have the website on there as well? It's in the packet.
It's not a committee though.
Okay. Just. Zoning administrator is not a committee either.
Uh-huh.
It's a one-person job. I'm just asking.
But we dissolved the committee, so
Oh, so you don't want to know what this, I'm just curious because it's in the packet.
I know. It wasn't
You don't
very
want to have a
denied putting it
website
in the
for it.
packet for her. I mean, that would.
Well, we don't have a website. I don't know if there's a reason to have that.
Okay. Just checking.
Move to approve the meeting agenda with the addition in the consent agenda of the unpaid bills, number 15807 through 15823, for a total of $6,104.93.
We need to pull out the minutes too.
Oh, we'll do that when we get to consent agenda. She did that kind of weird, but that's okay. I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Support.
Right. Sorry. All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of consent agenda.
We need to pull the minutes.
Is that all? Just to pull the minutes? Are you making a motion to pull the minutes?
Okay.
I think we need a motion to, don't we?
Well, I thought we just
Yeah.
approved one. I make a motion that we pull the minutes from the consent agenda. And approve the rest.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
There's money involved.
There's all this money on there.
Okay,
so.
roll call please, Rose.
Nelson,
Yes.
Miller, Zinsky, Worth, yes, Sights.
Yes. Motion carries.
Unfinished business number one, right, Chris?
Sorry?
For the minutes, unfinished business number one.
I have a few.
Okay, but that was the one we were talking about.
Yeah, that's one we talked about earlier, yeah. So I'm sorry if, from the comments earlier today, I went to an MTA training class and there was some this conversation in one of them about lawful expenditures. And when we came back, I emailed the MTA attorney who told me that trenching, she didn't say it wasn't, she said that the wording of the law states that the only thing approved is spraying and that we had best check with our attorney. And those were my comments at the last board meeting. That any trenching, not just state property, any trenching may not be a lawful expenditure for a township. We need to find that out before there's any vote on that. And so I apologize for that. I'm learning things there all the time. I had no idea. As Dave stated in the last meeting, wish we would have known that a year ago, but we didn't. Okay. That said, on the MTA training part, there was talk in the motion about mileage in a hotel for the training. Where are you? Page 3 and the training. October training.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they were, yeah, the pages were coming out of order. So that should say, move to approve all board members to attend the development retreat with mileage and hotel. Also above that, the delinquent property taxes. Not joining with other clerks, I'm joining with other treasurers for delinquent property
Yes.
taxes.
Yeah, I see where I made that. So reread number 3 for me. What,
Move to approve all board members and planning commission / zoning members to attend MTA professional development retreat with mileage and hotel paid and any non-covered meals. And I have one more. You ready? This on the fire chief number 3 on the last page before the adjournment. This states written report received. Fire truck bids were received to replace the 10-year-old tanker truck. And representative explained the price difference in the 3 quotes. I was not given a single quote. Not a single quote. I was given a comparison sheet drawn up by the fire chief that compared 2 fire bids. I was not, so I think that whole line needs to be, unless I'm the only one who didn't receive them, it should read that fire trucks bids were, I would take that out. I would take that whole, that Chief Frost and Spencer represented. I don't know how you would word that, because we got a comparison sheet with 2 fire truck bids. We did not get actual bids. That's not a bid.
fire truck bids were received by fire chief.
And not shared with the board.
On that same one, under the motion, there just needs to be a Y before my name. Move to approve the purchase of fire truck from Spencer by Miller, second by Worth.
And I think that line in there, I don't know how you word it, but I think it should definitely reflect that we got a
I think you
comparison
just
sheet.
put price difference in the 2 comparisons.
I don't want it to lead to believe that we saw bids, because we didn't.
2 comparisons though,
Yeah, we got this. This is a
Right.
typed up thing by the fire chief.
right?
Well, I don't think.
I would just put board received comparison of 2 fire truck bids from the fire chief. Should cover it.
2 comparison bids.
This is what we got. He wrote
Yeah,
down
but
what the
you-
bids were. We didn't see the actual bids. So we don't know that these are correct. And there's no 3rd bid on here. Do you see a 3rd bid?
I don't have that sheet with me, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was understanding you correctly. And you still want to put 2 comparison bids.
Well, this is what Dayton's saying is his bids, if I'm understanding this paper correctly.
Any other changes?
That's all I got.
That's all I have.
Wanna make a motion on it?
I make a motion to approve the minutes with the corrections.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next we have county commissioner report. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Nope.
Mr. Zeitz, we do have a commissioner here that may want to speak.
All right, we reached staff, the admin office. The drain commissioner now has new contact information, it's publicly available, to actually be reached. Case earlier apparently. And we approved for, it's a joint thing between the county and the conservancy to build a new GIS system. And townships are encouraged to use it They can use it as their official map. And the website company will keep it all up, basically Jim would just have to let them know, hey, we rezoned this. And they can get it changed on that map. You have a link that you can put on your website. And county's covering all the costs. And we approve the budget tomorrow. Public hearing. We will be approving the budget.
Good.
County.
Thank you. We have the fire chiefs.
Last month we ran $20. We broke down in that thing. 2 were classified as fires, 14 as rescue emergency medical services, and 4 were good intent cause. Trucks got their preventive maintenance, their yearly DOT and their maintenance done last week. This week they're out for pump testing. So that's yearly requirements of getting the pumps tested and make sure that they meet that standards. Be working on, I didn't get the quotes in time to be in your packet, so I'll put it next month about computers for computer aided dispatch. The county's not going to provide this one anymore that they used to because central dispatch doesn't have the funds. And that we use that to respond to calls and mapping. And get up with it, so I'll bring that back next month. Regards to the thing, there was 3 bids there. It was on the table. If you guys didn't look at them, I'm sorry.
Nobody told us they were there. I was never made aware they were there.
And when I discussed and said, I told you the 3 bids were right there. The 1 bid was thrown out because it didn't meet specifications that were sent. So that's fine. It's done and over with. So we can go back to the drawing board if that's what chooses. That's fine. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Okay.
Were the fires in our township?
I'm not for sure, to be honest. I can look at the. I don't know where exactly that's at. Same way as like we've already had some. Obviously, everybody knows about the road construction.
Yeah.
It's getting to be a problem for us responding. So I'm trying to work with folks to see if they can come down here and that's on there so we can get out because I waited 22 minutes today just to come here. That was a call.
They'll let you out for a call, wouldn't they?
What do we have? I mean, I'm responding here, so it took me 22 minutes to get here today.
This thing
Right,
getting
so
out.
that means we're not responding at least 22 minutes and we pull out here. They don't have anybody directing traffic here, which they should. So, and then am I going 3 miles that way or a mile that way, 2 miles that way, 1.5 miles back this way just to get to go that way? So it's, and yep, and nothing is, that's the thing. It's going to be even worse next fall when it's only westbound traffic. And we have a lot of responders come from that side that they have to either go down to St. John's, come back up, or Phoenix to come back to get back this way. And for any calls that we have to go that way, we have to go that way. So that's what they decided to do. We're in contact with Green Lake. We talk to them all the time about different things that they're helping us to, and we're helping them with some of the stuff with the detours.
Thank you. The assessor report. Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay. Zoning administrator report. Any discussion or questions?
This one and this one.
Planning Commission.
Right here.
Yeah.
I get it next too, so I'm gonna stand up. So we had a meeting on the 18th, and there wasn't really much discussion other than for our survey, which everybody's seen the little flyer that went out. And Sarah has indicated that after that mailer went out, we got 70 responses in 2 days. And she says we're at 95 so far. That was last Thursday. So we're getting a pretty good response. And she feels if we get 100, 150, it's a good response. Of course, and it's not a huge thing, but that might be 10%. So
Yeah.
that's not too terribly bad. September 22nd is when the public meeting is going to happen to discuss the survey results. We will have a meeting next week to talk with Sarah to go through that. During the last meeting, there was a public question about the 30 acres, which keeps coming back. I was in a meeting today talking about land that used to be part of an orchard. And I always figured, well, there's certain plants that you can plant to take up the toxins. But this one gentleman had arsenic in his soil. And the only remediation there is to take the first 12 inches off of the soil. Basically take it out and dispose of it. So I'm hoping this 30 acres doesn't have that kind of issue. If it is, it's going to be a lot more expensive than what I've heard it costs us to buy it. So it could be a real albatross for us. Moving on, any questions on the planning commission? Very straightforward. The finance committee report, we have this only caveat put on there. You might have noticed that our savings account went down quite a bit, but talking with the treasurer, she transferred some of the questions about the discrepancy, if you look at last month and this month, that's what right down in the report. So we should see it next
It's
month.
an early month this time.
Yeah.
With the first, yeah, so it's
it'll
not all
show up
posted
in-
yet.
Yeah, it'll show up in the next report. One other thing, I'm asked last board meeting to report on Open Meetings Act, and I did send off some information that hopefully they'll get disseminated. There's a booklet that is pretty much up to date on that. And there's also a website that Foster Smith put out specifically about Open Meetings Act, and it's on YouTube. It's July Training 2025. And it's a little less than an hour and a half, hour worth of presentation and about not quite a half an hour of Q&A. It's very important. So, any questions?
Yeah, so, thank you. Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, I have a little agenda here, a couple things. Progress report so far. We got that gazebo installed. It's all done. I have pictures if you want to see it, what it looks like. We finished it a few days ago. And we're getting ready to have an opening event, and Rose has some copies. Flyer that together. I've been in discussion with Anastasia, who is
Oh, I'm
and
not
work
talking
on
to them too.
things like refreshments and, helping to get some of these posters out. If you please the poster, we'll make copies of it. I've written a little press release. Did they get copies of that?
No, I didn't get the press release. I didn't get that.
Just pass it out. It's just short. It's just, we just want to send it out to, things like the Betsy Current, the Record Patriot, and anything else that they go and maybe more sense spread around. She's willing to do refreshments, take care of that kind of stuff. And, I'm gonna try to provide a little music. The date for it is the 28th of September in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Any questions about that progress report? Okay. So now we get to the things that we need. And for me, the big issue is the trenching thing. And I know that you found out that when questioning about what's lawful and unlawful, but I have not heard yet that anyone has claimed that the trenching is unlawful. That's not written down. So my guess is that it probably isn't unlawful, and we should go ahead and do it. It needs to be done. There's 25 more trees that are going to come down this year. It shouldn't have come down if we had trenched last year. They probably wouldn't. Matt from Partials has been over there and has outlined where the trenching would need to go now, which is different than last year, longer because we have to take into account those dead trees that we have to remove. So the bill's a little higher, not much, but it's a little higher. I've seen the proposal, so I was afraid it might be too late to get that machine, but it's not. Apparently, it's available. He has asked, just to, in the event that you will, agree to the proposal and sign off on it, he's already gone ahead and requested a permit from the DNR, which he had to do. So that's in the works. The trees that have to come down have been marked. The flags have been put up there and the trenching needs to occur. And it's getting, those dead trees are getting really close to the parking area and some of the magnificent red oaks that are in the pathway of where it's coming. So and right now already he's going to have to trench kind of like this way around this one magnificent tree that we're hoping to save, but isn't going to hit yet. So, I really think that there's no good reason for waiting any longer. Putting this off any longer, it's just going to be more expensive. Now you can choose to do nothing about it and let it go, and that is the red oak trees in that park, which are one of its defining features. Most of all the oaks here are red oaks. That's the one that the oak growth attacks. I just can't imagine that we would not do it. That we would not take care of that responsibility. He doesn't have to go up on state land hardly at all. A few feet maybe. Trenching is the only one. But now some of it has to be done on both sides, not just the side that we were thinking of doing before, because there's some challenged trees on the other side as well. So each year it gets a little bit worse, and since it's kind of one of the defining features of that park, I can't imagine it. Asking to approve his proposal, and get it done. The trees will come down in the winter. Wait till after October to take the dead trees out, but he did a really good job last year. Pulling them out, getting rid of all. The other thing that needs to be done, I don't know, Ben, I don't know if you've taken care of that yet, but the cement's there.
Yep, it's all out in the dumpster.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Did you take the hardwood?
Yep, it's all gone too.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, it's all done.
Appreciate that. The toilet here, the outhouses wasn't really being
I called on it. I haven't heard anything back yet from them, from CAPS. I'll try one more time. If I don't hear from them, then I'll tell them to pick up their stuff and we'll call somebody else.
Yeah,
CAPS ones,
We own
but they don't,
those. They were contracted to.
no, I didn't know you could purchase them. Okay.
and they just it kind of looks like it has. Empty.
Okay.
They say they're out there.
Okay.
And we've been providing toilet paper for my house, so
Gotcha.
we have to do that.
Okay.
I have, I was over at the Pot River Park in Honor today, and they have these really wonderful trash cans. And I really would like you to approve getting just one trash can for the parking area for the Lamb Road Park, where they're designed so that animals can't get into them. I don't know if you've seen them. I have a picture of one on my phone. I'll show you, but I would like to. We've argued about this in the past. I've been told in the past, a couple years ago, no, you can't have trash cans because they'll be stolen or they'll be misused. But these look like they're pretty easy to keep intact. You know, they have a couple of them at that park. Right now, we don't have any place for people to put trash except in the dog stations, which is not what they're supposed to be putting in the dog station. They're supposed to be putting dog food in those two containers. So there's that. Signage, we've talked about needing a sign up on the corner of Lamb and Cinder, a better sign that says, you know, here's the park. There's a little sign there, but right now what's there is that old one that's been there for a couple of years, that it says, you know, future home of this park. So we want to just take that one down. It's not valid anymore, and use the wood from it to put up another sign. And my son is working on that. Right now. He's at home. Hasn't been working for the last month, so he's working for me instead. And so you'll be able to see it. But he's making a nice. He likes to do things like that. He has, you know, wood cut cutting material. We bought a nice piece of wood. So we're working on putting that sign together. The maps that go with they're in the little houses that are pretty primitive. They need to be updated and improved. So I'm planning to work on that. So the gazebo, I was told when we were discussing who was going to put it together and whether we had a licensed contractor or not, I was told that we could go ahead, the volunteers who've been working on this park for 3 years now, and we could go ahead and put that gazebo together as long as I signed off on it. So here it is. I'm signing off on it. It's done. I witnessed every step of the way. I'm over there with my pillow and my lawn chair supervising all of it. I even actually helped do a few simple-minded things, but most of my sons did a good bit of work. And,
you had a hat on it.
huh?
So you had a hat on as a supervisor?
Yes, I did. I had my supervisor hat on, I had my bottle of water.
Sign off.
Make sure they had things lined up right.
License holder and a sign
And I was standing for the ladder, so my son was
That's right.
on the ladder. And, he did all this.
Yeah. Quite sure it's okay, so. We'll get one.
So, yeah, we got it done. And I would like, this is an unusual request, but, because he spent so many hours on it and did so much of the work. There was a committee and there were other people involved at various points who came, helped with the pylons, helped with putting some of the wood structures together. Rose was helping at one of the days, and a couple of my neighbors were. Most of it was done by the people on my street. My neighbors, we call ourselves Homestead Co-op. We raise chickens together and things like that. But most of it have been doing the work in the park for the last 3 years. And I would like you to pay my son something for the work. I would like you to pay him $500. I'm not asking for a lot. Because I know you had a bid in for doing that. Somebody put it in a bid a while ago that was ridiculous, $2,000 to put that thing together. It was more than the cost of the gazebo in the first place. So we're not asking for much, but I'm asking you to consider at least giving him some compensation for the work. We do need more volunteers for maintaining the trails right now. The trails are being maintained by those of us who've been working on it for all this time. We're losing one of our prime trailblazers. He's moving to town. But you could always use some more volunteers, particularly in the winter. It would be helpful to have people who are out there snowshoeing and keeping the trails open for snowshoeing. So we could put that. I think it's already on the website saying we need volunteers. You know, people who want to have committee. So that's the Lamb Road Park. The other park, contrary to what was just
No, I don't want to interrupt you too much. How much longer do you have? 'Cause
5 minutes.
Okay, if you can,
I'm going to try.
okay,
I want to talk about the Lake Ann Road.
okay.
When we first started working on the parks, when I first started working on the parks, we were working on that park too. And we had, you know, there were different, you know, proposals made for what we wanted. I mean, some of you remember that, some of you don't. All the things we wanted, I mentioned them in my comments earlier. We kind of just gave up after a while because it was impossible to make anything happen. Couldn't get 3 bids. You can't get 3 bids on a pickleball court. You can't get 3 bids on the kind of playground equipment and stuff that Dave was trying to bring into that park. It wasn't possible to get anything done. So we kind of ended up focusing on right now, not because we don't care about that park, but because we couldn't figure out how to do it, how to make it work. Alan was part of that community too, way back then. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do it. I mean, I think we should. We should figure out how to make the things happen that people would like to have happen there. And I'm willing to cooperate and to help with that in whatever way, as you know, just as an organizer. But the board has to figure out how to change things up a little bit so it's not so hard to get things done. I think this whole 3 bid thing is a mistake. But if you have ARPA money sitting in the treasury, which you do now, that doesn't require 3 bids. I mean, I know it's not separated out now. I know it's part of the general fund. Some of that money could be used to put in some of those things that people say they want. You know, pickleball is real popular right now. It really is. People like it. The benches that are over there, the 2 benches that we put over there are there, but the ones that need to be taken out, the old open benches are still there. I don't know how to get them out. It's a dangerous thing. And the playground needs to be updated. And I'm appealing to you to help me figure out how to do things. You know, we're kind of done with the work we need to do in Lamb Road. So we can have this event. We can devote some time to trying to make things happen.
So I've been to 3 different parks in the last week and a half, playing pickleball. And so I've been to the Manistee Park, the Green Lake Park, and to the Blair Township Park. And all 3 of them have big signs of donations from big companies, small companies, things that help them fund. So somebody clearly, I don't know who, haven't had a chance to dig into that, but maybe that's something the park committee could do to find out how and who helped organize them to get donations to pay for all. I mean, they all have nice pickleball courts, nice exercise areas, nice walking trails.
Yeah.
And they have big signs that say who paid for it.
Well, I can tell you that I am not much of a fundraiser. It's not something.
I don't know if they hired, like the guys that I talked to about disc golf said they have guys who'll do all that for you.
It's kind of not in my toolkit really. I'm an organizer, but I'm not really much of a fundraiser. And the people working on the committee right now, they're not even. I would want them to even we have to find somebody to do that, take that kind of initiative.
I have a question for you too. Do you have any kind of cost that Partial gave you for working with the trees?
The proposal for.
Yeah.
You have it. You should.
Yeah, it's
in your packet.
Oh, that's in here.
It's in your packet. I have a copy of it.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's in there. It's a little higher than the one last year. Actually, but it's there. I have a couple of little bills to submit. A couple of things we had to do, but the gazebo came with, it was missing a whole box of 3.5-inch screws. We had to go and buy those. And we had to buy a bit for the drill. And we actually ended up having to buy the drill also, because we didn't have a drill that went through concrete. All the tools that were used were my son's tools. All the supplies that were used were his, but we didn't have the right kind of drill, so we had to buy one. And I'm not giving you a bill for that drill because we decided we're just gonna keep it, because he likes it. But I would like I'd like to submit the bill for the bit, the special bit. It's only $10 that we had to buy, and for the nails, the screws, so we had to get finished. So I have those.
That's all.
I make a motion that we reimburse Peggy for the materials bought for the gazebo.
I'll second it. Any discussion? You take roll call, please, Rose.
Nelson.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Lindsay. Worth. Yes. Sights.
Yes.
Give it to Rose. Yeah. I know.
We'll give you this for the record. Okay, event committee.
She's here, but she's helping with this. Yeah. Coming up on the 28th. Are you approving that date? Is that okay?
And wasn't Anastasia taking care of the food portion?
She's taking care of, she's gonna take care of
You
food
agreed
and
to do the flyer?
she's gonna help get the flyers out.
But this is, Peggy made the flyer, and that's how they were gonna work.
Yeah, we talked on the phone a couple of times and she's going to help do whatever. I told her that I would take care of the flyer because Sean was trying to make those things, so he just made that. And the press release, I have a short press release to send out, but she said she would help with all the things.
We need a motion to pay for food. We're gonna pay for food for the events committee.
We need to approve the purchase of the food, but I think shouldn't the food come out of the Parks Fund? Maybe?
Or we don't really have a parks fund.
We don't have a perks fund
The event
anymore.
committee has no money to spend it
Well,
on.
they're all supposed to be combined into the general fund.
Yeah.
So we just have to make a motion for how much ever they think it's gonna be and what they want.
So I don't know if we have a price for that.
I don't have that, you have to ask. She said she would take care of that, and I have no idea. We've talked about what we want to have.
This is the last board meeting before that takes place, so I have to come up with them on number.
You could just come up with a. I'm not expecting a huge number of people.
Anybody want to make a motion?
I make a motion that we spend that more than $250 on the opening for food.
Oh, yeah,
For the
we can do
gazebo.
that anyway. That's fine, yeah, that's fine.
I'll support. Any discussion? Can you take roll call, please, Rose?
Miller.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Worth. Yes. Sights.
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
And did you want to consider that?
Motion carries.
We can't do that until we look into the legality of that, because I think there's something that we can't, because at this point it would be a donation and we can't make a donation, so we have to look into the legality of that first,
For what?
to pay our son.
Oh, yeah, and I don't know if he has a business name or anything like that. It's probably-
He's just a volunteer on the parks committee.
Sure.
He happens to have some construction.
Yeah. Board member reports. Start with.
So I submitted a hard copy of my, the conference I attended to the MTA, so it's in the board packet. Thank you.
I just have one question. What is an I-9? It says job applications and I-9. Must be
It's the legal status of a
You're
person.
a US citizen.
Ah,
I did one, but I did it late because Rose left already before I had mine all the way done for the day. And so, I don't.
She put it in the mailbox.
I put it in everybody's mailbox, so, but I did put some motions on there for some things. So so to join I paid to join the, Township Governance Academy, I believe it's called. And so you have to pick jobs to do. Thank you for digging that out. It's in there somewhere. And so I took all 3 classes that were there. And so I wrote up the things that I would like to do. So we should have a policy of rules of engagement, which we were talking about earlier, the shaking of the hands, how you would like the board to act in the meetings. And then for the one on the tax things, I'm very interested in hiring a new assessor, as everybody is well aware. And almost the entire class was on the signs of a good assessor, which I don't think there was a one that our assessor met to the highest standard. And so I would personally like to, and not saying that we need to eliminate him now. I do think we should ask for some more reports, which were recommended in the class, which we can do that, present that for the next meeting. But I would like to write up a job description and and a contract that states the things that he should definitely be doing that I learned in this class, just to have on hand. So if the need arise for a new assessor, or when his contract is up in 2 years, we are prepared. We're more than prepared. So, and then the third one, it was about managing your township team. And so they talked about the extreme importance of a handbook. And I came across some things today by accident, went down a rabbit hole of all the things that we are legally supposed to be having on our bulletin boards in this building. And I put one up, but there are several more. I've printed them. I haven't put them up yet. Regarding employment, there's also the things that like nobody knows here. Where do they get their keys from? What do you do with your keys when you get done? What do you do with your laptop? We had a hard time getting keys and laptop back. So all that should be spelled out in an employee handbook, and I'm willing to write that. But I'm asking for the board's approval to work on these 3 things so I can do the research and do them.
I think you need approval for you to work on. Yeah.
Well, according to the stuff, if I'm going to be out there representing the board to learn things about this, to put into a thing, then yes, as a board member, we are not to be out on our own independently talking to other people without the board knowing that we're doing it.
And I think it would be wise to have somebody working with you on that. And we do have an old,
Employment handbook,
yeah.
I'm going to start new.
That I did like 20 years ago or whatever.
They give you almost everything that you need in between there and the website. And then I'd also like to talk to some other townships. So, yeah, I'm just asking, basically I make a motion to allow me to do these things.
But I don't think you should do it alone. I think somebody should be helping you with that because that's going to be quite a task.
I'm not saying I'm going to have it all done before the next board meeting.
Well,
I'm
of
not
course
giving
not.
you time, but I might. And honestly, I'm more than happy to have my deputy help me. She would be great to help me. She's my proofreader. I volunteered her.
She wants to be volunteered.
She does. She just doesn't know it. I'll buy her coffee. She doesn't drink it either. Yes, no, you don't think I need permission?
Well, I was just thinking that it's
Permission, or you're just letting us know?
I just made a motion, so I guess somebody has to say that the board's okay with me going out and researching these and doing these projects.
Okay.
Is that support? Okay.
Yeah,
I'll second that.
yes.
Any discussion?
We did
I
that.
just want to make sure we get it right, treasurer too.
I can help you write that later, Rose, with the things that are, I wrote it all up on the back of my packet.
Perfect, I have it, it's in my mailbox.
You can just use that.
Yeah, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Did you want to say anything about the thing that you had written, Rose? No? Okay.
And one thing I would like to say is, before anybody calls the attorney or anything, if you'd please ask me, just in case there's another avenue. We're at 111% of our fund used currently, so, we're gonna have to transfer money into that, so we really need to be thinking about who we're calling, what we're calling on, and, things like
And not two of us calling on the same thing.
Who's calling same thing at the same time? Good.
that. Yeah. What's that?
We can't hear you talking unless you're selling.
Oh,
That's the problem is on YouTube, yeah, everybody up there.
gotcha. Unfinished business. Partial trenching at Lamb Road. We have the proposal.
Did anybody contact the attorney to find out if it's legal to trench at all? Especially on state land, because
It's definitely not on state. We
definitely
can't-
not on state land, we can't.
Because they're not gonna pay for it.
Permit or not, yeah, we can't do that.
Well, my guess is that the trenching that we would pay for would go to our border and the rest of the.
State will not pay for it. Matt said the state will not pay for it, for trenching on their property.
And we could stop the trenching at the end of the property. We don't have to trench on state property. There's very little of it actually on.
So what does anybody want to do with this one?
I say we have to find out whether we can legally, it's a legal expenditure before we do anything. And I'm sorry, we talked about that last month, but we have no choice but to do that. So I don't know if you want to appoint somebody to be the one to contact the attorney and find out if we can do that, or if we can't do that. I'm more than happy if
Okay.
you want to do that. To forward you my emails with Catherine.
About that we can approve the cutting down of trees if we want to do that. Because that's done at a different time. than the trenching would be. I mean, it's,
And when I talked to Matt, he said hop the road. So trenching isn't gonna do anything. Trees are just gonna die.
well, you can see where it is, and
Right.
Well, not our road, our entrance road.
it's probably
I think.
Airborne too, that's the
Yeah.
problem. There's
It's kind of a
like
lost
the
cause.
yeah, it's a lost cause. And I'm sorry, I feel bad to say that because
I
I
do
love oak
too.
trees. But the ash, what was the other one that killed all
Emerald ash
that
borer?
killed the trees? We did everything to try to stop that, spraying all kinds, and it wasn't stopped.
So, you know, I
It'll
don't
go through the air
understand how you can say it's a lost cause. I really don't. When the forest.
What public comment is that?
I'm not probably commenting as the chair of the park committee.
We're doing business up here. So we're discussing what we want to do with
so do we, I mean, we can call in the trenching, and do we want to go ahead and cut the trees down that are actually,
And my thinking is like the DNR has a permit that you can get. I think we could piggyback off it, write up our own permit and just let the trees come down. And then there's people that burn wood in our township. You'd have a permit that says you're liable for blah, blah, blah. And then they can come
so
take the
But
trees.
if those trees have the tree will, there has to be a separate way to deal with that. You can't just go ahead and burn that, is my understanding.
Yeah, I don't even know. Because they just take it back and chip it and that's still airborne.
I have a packet from the last time that we had this discussion from Partial of all the
Okay.
things about the oak wilt, if you want to read that.
Okay,
And I don't remember what it says about that.
okay. So we table it for now, talk to the attorney.
I was just gonna say, can you call the attorney and get the attorney's opinion, and then we could move on it rather than tabling it again.
And I gave you the code, the Michigan law code last month.
Yeah.
Remember that? Okay.
Yep,
So you will call Ben?
yep.
Thank you.
Lamb Road Pavilion, I don't think that needs to be.
No, it's just that it's done.
Cleaned up,
Yeah.
it's done.
We can take it off of there.
Yeah. Number 3, policies and procedures, follow up. accounts payable.
I really think that we should be doing them all together, and we paid a lot of money to Manor Custodian to advise us and to put a book together for the policies and procedures, and we went out of it for a couple things because they weren't included in there, but I think we need to get back to that and work with them to get that completed. I don't think Ted was here then, but I think he came to the class. Did you come to the class with them?
No, I didn't go to class, but
Yeah,
I mean,
wasn't there either.
to take it from the,
Oh, you can say that.
I was just saying, take it from the top. The board was asked back in July to review an accounts payable policy. This followed the 2 policies the treasurer brought to the special meeting back in June on credit card and EFT. This was the 3rd piece of that. So there was the August meeting, there was an accounts payable policy that was based on MTA's recommendation. At that point in time, the board suggested we look at Manor Custodians that was provided. So in this paperwork here is a compare and contrast of Manor sample account payable policy and MTA's, which are virtually verbatim with one another. I've also included in here the policies that were approved at the June special meeting that was brought to the board. Those are part of the Manor, and not a part of the MTAs. The MTAs is specifically the accounts payable. So then there is a sample policy here based on either Manor Custodian or the MTAs, because they are virtually identical. At the very beginning of the opening is our current policy, which is 2 paragraphs.
I put MTA put on here, and there are a couple things that Manor put on here. I think we should just click on to MTAs. I'm looking at the 3rd page of this. The things that are in red here about electronic payments, 1.9 through 1.14.
You think they should be off there?
Pardon?
We already have a policy on that anyway.
Yeah, if I remind, those policies were approved in June. So treasurer brought 2 policies to the board in June, which included that language.
And this is just getting some get policies out of the way as we do them instead of trying to spend an entire day trying to do policies.
The board speak up, because we're having a hard time hearing, especially when it's in your.
So, I just have a couple things I'd like to add to this one, because for one, the ACH and EFT are referred to as treasurer policy 1 and 2, correct? And I think that needs to, if we go with any policy for accounts payable, that needs to be referenced that to see the treasurer policies 1 and 2 regarding ACH, EFT, things like that. And then, the other thing that I think is missing, because on page 1, on 4.1.1, it says by affixing an account number and his or her signature to the payment voucher, it shall indicate the payments authorized. I think that on page 1 of this, under 4.1.1, under the bullet points, first thing it said the disbursement account number needs to be added by the department head, like fire chief gives his invoices, and he always puts the account number he wants them taken out of. Treasurer has invoices too that she gives me, and as far as department head people that have the, so that's something I thought about having put on there as well. But I think it does keep pretty much all of Manor Custodian of what they wrote, it just actually finalizes it and puts it into what pertains to us, this township. This is my thought. Okay, oh, it must be this. What? 4.1.1 on page 1? Yeah, the front page there.
That's your policy. This is what you want to
Yeah.
approve.
What, no, 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 no,
this
no,
is
no.
our current.
This is.
Oh,
Current.
well, this says,
Two paragraphs.
I move to approve 4.1 as presented or edited.
Oh, no, that's his policy number. Policy number 4.1. We kept the same number as.
Oh, it didn't come through on mine. Number.
It's right here. For Ted, the one that Ted wrote up.
That's one page.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so it's all the way up in this.
Probably the numbers, policy number shouldn't be 4.1. We've got treasurer's policy 1 and 2. We should probably work in conjunction with those two policies if we did anything.
Well, the only thing here is it says the clerk shall be responsible for processing all accounts payable.
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing.
We just talked about putting a whole bunch of them on credit card. We just approved that.
Right. Then that's where it refers, where we need. Why
Well,
we
that needs to
put-
be,
That's why we needed to put to see the treasurer's policy numbers 1 and 2. Because that's where that
we
information.
need those policies if all have to be paid this way, because this is
No,
what-
yeah,
this is what, how this is worded.
right. And that's why we can change that. But processing doesn't mean necessarily paying. Because I have to process
Right.
the EFT and I have to give it to you for final payment.
Right.
So that's what we take it as well.
Does anybody want to make a motion on anything? Or any changes? Okay.
I move we approve the accounts payable policy 4.1 as edited by our clerk.
What's the edit?
Right there.
Okay. Add the dispersing account to the invoice. Like what account number you want to come out of? 101, 101, 101.
The paper's confusing, so I'm sorry. I'm lost at what you exactly want to write in there. See page. Okay, so
That
you
was
just
what
wanna
I
add
was
that whole
referencing.
thing.
That's what I was referencing. No, just the line. You'll see on page, when you click page 1, you'll see what I have on mine. But just that, I don't want that whole paragraph.
Just about the department head.
Yeah, just about the department, the number. My date tells me it's 206, 336, 425. And then to make sure we include that, we have to reference the
I'll second.
treasurer's policy.
Discussion on the motion made?
Were we going to put the personal account? Those I didn't quite follow that. That's on the.
This line on the first page
Right here.
that you just outlined
Yeah.
is gonna
It's
be
gonna go-
added below
Okay,
this.
that's where I got it.
Uh,
This was hard to follow.
It took a little bit of doing, but I figured it out.
Yeah.
Any other comment?
And then we also,
Discussion.
and we add the treasurer's policy number 1 and 2 also need to be referred to. We incorporate that in there.
You can take, or I guess all in favor,
No.
is roll call.
We'll need to roll call this one.
Okay.
Policy.
Okay. Roll call then, please.
Zelinski?
Yes.
Sights?
Yes,
Yes, Nelson?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
motion carries. New business, snowplow contract and advertisements.
I make a motion that Ben work on the snowplow contract and do some advertisement to find snowplowers.
We approved the snow plowing into the record patriot. So
So we need- oh,
that's all we
I
need to
okay.
approve the. and put it in there,
make a motion that we approve to put a add in the record patriot for snowplow contract. Good for 4 years? Is that what you wanted to do? 4 years? For 4 years.
Second.
Does that include the park?
Yes.
Any discussion?
Does that include the park?
Yep. The only thing I want to say, hopefully moving forward, that we don't have to have board approval to put it in the newspaper.
Put some ads in the paper.
I don't think we should have to. I would consider that an office expense under $500.
So just, it'll help get things done.
Right, I agree.
Okay.
Do we have to make that a motion? Do
I
we
don't
just?
No, but we already have a motion on
Yeah.
the floor that we need to.
We have a motion.
Any other discussion? Take roll call, please.
Nelson?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Zelinski?
Yes.
Wolf, yes, Sights?
Yes, motion
Now I
carries.
know that we don't do, like for planning commission, they approve their ads that go in the paper. And then they just give it, we don't approve of putting them in there because they approve their ads, we don't approve them. So I mean, it would make life easier if Ben didn't have to come to the board and say, I want to put I need to put my ad in the paper for board review. I need to do it so many, and I need to do it now. But because it's part of statutory duty to do board review. So in my thinking, I've always thought this through all the supervisors is that it's board review. It's a given that he'd be allowed to put his ad in the paper without getting board approval.
I consider them all office expenses and we shouldn't have to get any approval on them. Right, for jobs, for bids, it's all part of running the office, so.
Right.
Right, moving on.
Policy.
Agenda format revision for approval.
Yeah, when we went to that training, Teresa and I came, she came up and said something to me and I had the same thought in my head. And so I put the agenda back to its original format. And then I worked on this with Ted and he came up with the timeframes and stuff. And this was suggested to put times on there and make sure that the chair says, our meeting starts at 6 o'clock, our meeting will end at 8 o'clock. And we endeavor to stick within that time frame.
That's all in the engagement policy that we talked about earlier.
Yes.
How you start your meeting and when you end your meeting.
Yeah. And if we are going to go over that time frame, we have to have a motion to extend the time we're gonna be in our meeting. And
Or schedule a special
we'll make a
meeting.
new meeting.
right.
So do we need to approve?
So if this is something that you would like, or you want to make like changes on it, or your thoughts, that's why we did this. So I typed it up one way, Ted added his thing, and we each changed things. So
My only thing would be, are we thinking of keeping it at 6 o'clock, or are we thinking of moving it to 5 o'clock? I know a lot of times in the winter, we moved back an hour just because sometimes.
I think my opinion is to keep the 6 o'clock until it's time to discuss the next fiscal
That's what
year.
I think we have to do too, because it's been advertised.
I mean, we can, but I think it's in our best interest to stay at 6 o'clock for fiscal year.
I do too.
I move that we accept the, what do we call it, agenda format revision as presented.
I'll second it.
I have a lot to say. I'm sorry. Number one, I think that we should just pull minutes right out of the consent agenda because we haven't, I don't think I've ever been here for a meeting where we've approved them without having to make some changes in them. So instead of lumping that in there, we might as well just separate it right now. Unpaid bills, I don't know if those can be in there without the numbers in there. So might as well pull those out. Also, my biggest comment is this public comment at the end. There are some very fine people here who have sat here now an hour and a half, probably likely 2 hours. And I feel like if we keep them in their 3 minutes of conversation, I think they deserve to have a chance to speak after what they've learned here at the meeting. Because there are going to be people walking out of here tonight feeling very angry if we didn't give them public comment. I don't think that's fair to our public. So I don't think that takes much time. I think the reports are taking a lot of time, and I think that should be timed. People should, if we have a written report, there's no need for anybody to speak unless we have a question. That's what they told us.
Right.
And so we need to hold the people accountable to that. So reports have to be turned in on time. I myself was bad this time. Month change and the holiday made it difficult. There's always going to be excuses, but going forward, we should always have the reports in on time. And if they don't make the packet, then you don't get to say anything till the following month. And you don't get to say anything unless we ask you a question.
Yep.
And that will save time, and then people can have their few minutes of speaking at the end.
What's the time?
Great.
What's the time?
It's not public comment, right? No.
So like on here, reports will start at 7:20 roughly, and they've got 20 minutes to go through the reports. But if they do written.
That's if we ask them questions.
Just only if we ask them questions.
If we don't
And
ask
there's
them
written, if they give their written reports, then that we're out of there by 7:25 because there may be no questions asked. And she also made mention about the way our table is designed.
She did.
Like this, and we shouldn't be like this. We should be addressed, we should be able to actually see each other, and our tables need to be like this with.
Or we could put mirrors all along that wall.
There you go, attach ourselves that way. So we're looking at amending the motion then by removing the minutes and unpaid bills as separate items.
Leave
And
public comment.
Keeping
in.
public comment. See, we were going by things that Connie was saying, and different things.
Is there a reason why we're calling new business action items instead of new business?
Actually, because they do require an action.
Because that's what they said, this was the other thing they said. So all the action items should be clear. So when you look at your agenda, like when we look at here, it does say partial trenching at Lamb Road Park. So that it's a vote. That line should be quoted. So there's no question of what's going to be asked here. So it should there be trenching at Lamb Road Park by partial? So you can look at this agenda and know exactly what's going to be voted on. They said that. The only other comment that I have on this is on these reports, like, I feel like we could save more time. Like we might have, like oftentimes Dayton, for example, is asked how many fires or how many accidents were in our township. If we asked him to do his report, so it just reflected that always, that saves time in the meetings going forward. We know right off the bat. Parks can list out what they're doing. I'm just trying to think of ways to make it where there's less questions and we zip through. Everybody knows how to read here, I believe.
Yeah, and that was one of the big things she would push more than once. You all know how to read.
Yep, she kept saying that to us.
If it's in
Sorry.
your packet, you know how to read. Yeah. So it requires reading the packet. So, I move to amend the motion to include making minutes and unpaid bills a separate item and keep second public comment.
Can I add one more amendment?
And
Because remember, she said, because I brought my sheet with me too, at the end, right after any other business to come before the board, there should be the announcements where we repeat
and add announcements.
anything that, like we talked about, you putting an ad in the paper, anything that was listed by a duty to do, basically needs to be spelled out and who's gonna do that duty. Does that make sense? So it doesn't get lost and forgotten down the road.
Okay,
Okay, I have one question. Since how we have an amended
okay, go ahead.
an amended motion on the floor, and we also had a regular motion on the floor, which one do we do first?
The amended motion supersedes the original motion, but normally we approve the amended motion and then we approve or disapprove the other motion. That's our history. That's the other thing discussed and how we carry on certain things. Who seconded that?
No one.
Oh, okay. So, okay, and honestly, I don't know if this is an A or an all vote. Let's vote.
I don't know.
I think it's just an A vote. There's no money and there's no policy because it's.
Yeah, because we don't have a policy.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All in
Any
favor of
opposed?
the original motion? Aye. Sorry, you have to do the original motion as well.
All in favor of the original motion?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next on the list is building fascia,
Fix it all.
and we have 2 quotes. I tried to get a few others, but nobody was interested. They said it'd take longer to come look at it and do the quote, and it would just do the job. We had to.
Having read through all these, I will do the example motion and say, I move that the non-township board accept Light Custom Project LLC estimate of $750 to replace the township hall's missing soffits and fascia at a cost not.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Jesus.
Can you take a roll call, please?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I got the right. And then you seconded that, right? So, okay. Miller?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Word? Yes. Sights?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next on the list, remove previous deputy clerk and add new deputy to banks.
Now, this has to be worded certain
So you gotta
way,
do it. 'Cause I don't-
right? So, yes.
So who are we taking off and who are we putting on?
Taking Lindsay Miller off.
We're adding Anne Marie Shaw.
What's his second name?
Anne Marie.
Henry.
Is it one word
Hyphenated.
with an ANNE?
No E.
Shop.
Shab. I move that we remove the previous deputy.
You gotta say the name.
I will. The previous deputy clerk, Lindsay Miller, and add the new deputy clerk, Anne Marie Shab, to the banks.
Full support. Any discussion?
Yes, it has to be worded in such, they do not have full access to the banks. They only have a read open option to the banks. They cannot move money, they cannot withdraw, they cannot
I
deposit.
thought that included, was already.
So it just needs to be worded to state that they have a read-only access to the banks.
With read-only access.
But isn't that already on our?
It's like the names, it needs to be in the motion.
It needs to be with the names that I just said?
Mhm.
Oh, all right, I will add it. With read only accepted.
And their name need to follow that as well.
I'm sorry.
Their name, their name need to follow read-only access as well. Or just list their names once.
List their names once is
Okay,
good.
because you're saying you need to say.
No, she asked me why. I just said just like their names, it has to be in the motion.
Because I thought that was already understood and written somewhere that that was the way it was done. So that's why I didn't say it originally.
Okay. Who seconded?
I'll second.
Any discussion? And this is a roll call. Can you take roll one, please?
Nelson.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Kaminsky.
Yes.
Yes, Sights.
Yes. Motion carries.
Congratulations, Deputy.
We have to do roll call for the original motion. Or was
She
that?
just added that to the end, I think.
Number 5, VSNA training for supervisor.
Is that done here or do you have to go somewhere for that?
Online.
What are you doing? Just the general ledger? For,
I am not.
Yes, right.
General ledger?
we have the recordings from when we just paid for this class.
This is so he can do the budget.
Oh, this is different. That's what I was wondering if it was the same, because it just doesn't.
It's general ledger, but it's gonna entail more stuff that he needs for the budget.
Make a motion that we allow Ben to do the MTA, or I'm sorry, the BSNA training.
Can you say supervisors?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll start over. Is it written somewhere?
I have one if you'd like.
You wrote it? Wait, I won't mess it up. I move to approve BSNA supervisor training per quote Q02328 in the amount of $1,100. Very well, thank you.
Second.
Any discussion? You can take roll call, please.
Zelensky.
Yes.
Sights.
Yes.
Yes, Nelson.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carries. Discussion of funding and the purchase of fire equipment and the termination of the Spencer contract. And I move that we terminate the agreement with Spencer on 8/12/2025. Permit Township Legal Counsel to engage with Spencer in discussions to ensure an amicable termination of the agreement and have the township supervisor and fire chief investigate prices of a new tanker in line with the township's administrative policies and procedures.
I'll support.
Any discussion?
Yes. It's my understanding that this, and Fire Chief Dayton will correct me if I'm wrong, the state has made arrangements with some of the businesses to help keep the costs lower for townships, to secure equipment and necessary items for keeping the township in good running order. And therefore, I believe that we have used this method in the past and used it to obtain some of our trucks in previous years because they provided the best price that we can achieve for our trucks. We can make minor changes in what we need for those trucks, but the total build-out time takes an average of 2 years to complete. Am I correct in that?
So say that again, I guess I didn't understand.
That the state has made arrangements. to
My
make-
deal.
Yeah, to make some of the costs lower for the township, including our fire trucks, which we've gotten through them or some years before, and that it usually takes 2 years to build them out, but that we could make changes to what we had originally ordered if it's not a major change.
So the state has that MI deal, which is the competitive pricing that we've done things. We've purchased a truck, the pickup truck and the Suburban off that, and then we went out and either did it ourselves or that was purchasing that. I don't believe that there's something for like the big truck. There are some things, I believe there's Sourcewell, it's out of it's like competitive pricing. There's HGBA, I believe. I can't remember where they're at some companies deal with it. Of competitive pricing like that. Pretty much, other than that, that's all I know. Because they go out and they do I believe, I don't know the exact how they do it. We have to be represented by someone in the source color that the dealers, those dealers do it, but yes, we have for the little trucks, like the pickup truck, you can go and just like the cop cars and everybody, you go on the MID's website, go through, find specific like pickup truck that you want, and then they give you the price. But for like the big trucks, no, same way with like a copy machine, same way we did with the new system that they already done that for you. Copy machines, and they have tons of stuff on that machine, that MID, everybody, the counties, and I don't know, other townships, a lot of other townships. We've done it for small.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
I have a few things. So I just recently read, and I did not check today to see what the status of it is, but just read on MTA's website, I don't know if anybody else did, that there is a new bill that has passed the House already that they're trying to push through the Senate that will eliminate 88% of all townships in Michigan's state revenue sharing. So the odds of us keeping state revenue sharing could be quite slim, which would very negatively eat up all of our money very quickly. So I think between that, I just think there's too much uncertainty in this. We don't know that we're going to renew odds are we are, but we don't know that for certain. We have a equipment millage up for renewal. We don't have the money in the bank in the fire millage account. We really shouldn't be spending the township general fund money if we don't know we're going to get more in there. I wrote down the numbers and they're on my computer. I'm sorry, I didn't print it out. So roughly we made less than $30,000 in our second revenue source last year. That is our administration fee for taxes. Our number one income to operate this township. That doesn't even cover one person's salary. Our biggest source of income is the state revenue sharing, and we are potentially not going to get it. So I don't think we should be making $750,000+ until some of these things get decided.
I found out today when we went to the clerk's meeting that Ask My Tax thing, that petition's going around, more than likely can make it to the ballot, so therefore a lot of money is going to be going by the wayside, depending on what happens with that next year. I mean, I wasn't to add to that, but to find out where we're going to lose revenue sharing, and then Ask My Tax is going to cut a lot of our money too. So now what do we do? Are we even going to get township in?
I think people are going to, if they take away state revenue sharing, it's going to definitely harm the tremendous, over half of the townships in this county aren't going to be able to operate.
No. Any other discussion? I don't know if this is a roll call vote or.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Okay, you take roll then, please.
Nelson.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Zelinski.
Yes.
Ward. Yes. Sights.
Yes. Motion carries. Next is appoint Board of Review member. I move that Jim Clark be appointed to the Board of Review.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Is you already on board of review?
No.
You have been before. Okay.
Do you still need an alternate?
Yeah, we still need an alternate. So if everybody knows anybody. And I don't know if this roll call.
Just
Okay, all in favor?
Right.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Any other business to come before the board?
Yes, sorry. I have a couple little things. So I was just gonna give you some updates on my projects. So number one, I've been working with the smart people for what, I forget what. Smart office. All of the equipment is on order to finish up that project. So hopefully I'll hear back soon of when that's gonna take place. The disc golf course, I have spoken with the two gentlemen that have gone out and fundraised to help design courses. They're very interested in giving a presentation to the board. If the board is interested in potentially redesigning is possibly spending money on a new disc golf course. With all I said about the money, I don't know if we want to table that. I'm okay with that either way. Till spring, I just wanted to let you know that that's where we're at. They're happy to come talk to us if there's any real interest in us doing a new course.
Are they local people?
One is local and one is not. One is a champion disc golf player who travels all over the US. The other one is the manager of Tilly's Bar and Still in town. So.
Yeah, I'd be interested in hearing what they have to say.
Okay, well, then I will try to
Pricing
schedule it.
and whatever.
Okay, the people, the one, Avery, he helped design the Green Lake course and he did all the fundraising for him. It cost him $3,000. So, and they have a really nice course. Last but not least, I've been working with the payroll companies. So my main two sources that because I'm trying to do the three thing, I figure our third choice is keeping it in-house, which I don't think is the best solution for us. I did talk to ADP. They have a lot of really good, strong selling points. They did say that they often, if there's a mistake, it's usually a lack of good communication there with getting everything set up. And usually at the most, it's the next month, but we just quit them, which I'm okay with. So I also got some recommendations for this integrated payroll solutions company that is located in Traverse City. And an annual fee roughly for us would be like $1,788. In their program, we have a lot of options, and we have a portal that you log in and you can double check everything. You have to approve it before it's done. And it also includes, for a slight extra fee, the ability to punch in. So with this ESTA program, it's going to be very complicated because we need to keep track of the assessor. We need to keep track of the cleaning lady. We need to keep track of the board members if they're doing duties outside, as Rose is doing payroll and I am doing FOIA. Those are outside. So we have to track those separately than our thing. So it's a quite complicated course. And so if you can log in on your phone, you can actually get a time clock. They'll track all of that for us.
What's the third one?
So this is based on.
Another third one.
Third one is keeping it in-house for $18 an hour. And then we have, and also the other thing with these people, Elk Rapids uses them. I call them, they're very, very happy with them. Sweets down in Honor Bar uses them. That's where I got the recommendation from. And they're very pleased with them and have had no issues with them. In Elk Rapids, they did accidentally pay somebody a double paycheck, and they just worked it out with them to take half 1 month and half the other month. So they'll work with us to recapture the money that we pay, that we do absolutely have to recollect. I've learned.
I'd like to see that when you're through.
I'm sorry, I didn't make copies because I didn't know if we were going to go through this. So the one good thing on the plus column for ADP is if we re-sign up by the end of the month, they'll give us 6 months free. So, I mean, it is a good point, but I do like the idea of being able to track the ESTA and not having the issues. Also, if we get a letter from the IRS, all we have to do is send it to them. They will work with them and figure out our problems and get that all straightened out. And going forward, if there's any issues, we just send it to them. And they'll deal.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can I ask questions about that?
Yeah.
So my guys don't have to come in and clock in and before they go out on a call.
Well, if they have the time to do that, yes. If they don't, they will have the option of clocking in through an app where they can enter their time, and then it just has to be either approved by you or the person who's doing the payroll. I would like to be the person to work with these and get this all set up and things, but there is a way to enter it afterwards.
Okay, I was just asking a question because, I mean, to be honest, I'm gonna forget to even come in and punch a clock or whatever and go on and punch a call. I'd rather take that. I mean, yeah, I know it's only a few seconds, but if you have a problem, not putting your fingerprint scanners are always touchy. It takes more time than going to help somebody, but that's just questions that I have.
Yep.
And I'd like to see the program or a demo or something, just to bring up those questions.
I don't know that they can quite do a demo for payroll.
I mean, I can plug the name from him before we end and I can do research on it, so I can bring up questions to you.
So they have an administrator app, part of it too, that only the people who, when it's set up, have granted access can go in there and change people's time. So you'll have that right or to, approve that for them.
Those are just my questions.
So do we need to
Well,
probably think on that more?
yeah, it's not time bound.
Nope.
So maybe it's a action item for the next,
I like to put it on the agenda.
and then, yeah, we could have some more material to support it.
But good work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I may be done. They do not use BSNA, so it would be, and they could continue to use like the W-4s that we have. They have the option. It's more expensive if people get a paper check. We as the employer have the option to not allow paper checks, where you have to sign up for direct deposit or credit card. You cannot, you get like a debit card that's refillable. Can't make somebody do direct deposit. So you have those two options.
Is ADP, BSNA, they sync up? From neither one.
Most of them don't sync up. And
Thank you.
ADP didn't even know what BSNA was when I talked to their to people there. Yeah, I think that's something else. I think that's it.
Any other business to come before board?
No.
Okay. Yeah, public comment, 7:50.
Can I make one little comment?
Before public comment?
Some of my laptop broke. I just felt I should tell the board.
Okay.
And so Rose and I made the decision to take the old AP payroll laptop and have it redone to me. But we do have to make a decision what to do with mine. They think it might be the screen, but it might be a graphics card in there. And it could be worth, it could cost more if they get it more. Unless it's just the screen, but they don't know that they put the screen. So I don't know what the board wants me to do with it.
So right now your computer is not working.
My computer is sitting at Intercom. I have the AP
She has the old, the one
laptop currently.
But I'm sorry, but that didn't clear it up for me. So your
So
computer.
She
can we
has-
just wipe it out and then get you a new one?
Well, we don't really need a new one if I just keep using the AP one. It just wouldn't, because we don't have that person anymore. But yeah, they can wipe it out and throw it away.
Right.
Okay, I just want to make sure that that's what everybody's good with.
So I move that we allow Intercom to wipe the treasurer's damaged computer for disposal. Because that's,
Second.
Any discussion?
it will cost money.
Yeah, can you take roll call?
Okay. Miller?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Ford, yes, Sights,
Yes.
Zelinski?
Yes. It shouldn't cost much because
Do we
it's
need to
room
put-
like
Like 90 bucks.
Alright.
Yeah,
Do we need to put an amount in there? or
it
is
should
that
be
what
less
you
than
said?
$100.
Less than 100.
Carries. All right, public comment is now open at 7:54.
6 minutes and we did it in under 2 hours.
I'll be short. William Swartout, 6341 Brundage Road. Just a little bit on my background, so I don't think I'm a guy who lives in the woods. I've had over 30 years in business experience. I've worked at 3 manufacturing facilities, operated basically all 3 of them. I dealt with $1.5 million budgets. As a board, I think you should sit and have a talk with your clerk, and find out why we have these problems. Find a solution to help her. If she's not telling you anything, how can you help her? Find out why she's not saying it. And as far as this FOIA that I paid for, that should have been done. The coordinator has a copy of it, so you can get it as a supervisor. That's it.
Okay, thank you for your comment.
Yep.
Go ahead.
We need one of those timers with stay on for 3 minutes.
All right, I know.
I'm ordering one.
Peggy Case, 5398 Homestead Road. Just feel compelled to speak for the trees again. From what I know, and I've done some research on oak wilt and all of that stuff, and so has Matt over partials, and so has the district forester who advised us in the first place and sent the stuff off to the testing to prove that it was oak wilt. If you have trench, you're just wasting your time taking out the dead trees. You'll just be taking out dead trees every year until the entire forest is gone. And that's what happened at Ranch Rudolph apparently a number of years ago. They didn't do anything about it. Cut down every one of the oak trees. I just can't imagine that we would let that happen over there. And we just finished putting together a very nice park for people to walk in and enjoy being in a really, really pristine woods. The features there are oak trees and white pines. Those are the main features of that forest. So I'm appealing to you to determine, I hope when you talk to the lawyer, you will get clarification on the difference between unlawful and not knowing what lawful really means. So that you can discern whether it's possible to just fresh our property and not let it would be discriminatory.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Really like to know what.
You get a packet. Oh, was there not packets there?
Couple quick things.
One I didn't plan to talk about is just clarification on ARPA funds. Just some of you are new on the board and may have missed it on our past meetings. ARPA funds, you were incorporated as part of our general fund, and they were technically used to pay payroll. They backdated it. So whatever we want to do with those funds, part of the general conversation, there isn't 200,000 set aside for anything. It's all part of the general. One of the last things I wanted to talk about is the board and actually the planning commission as well, the fiduciary responsibilities that you have. You each took a oath of office, and this is a personal opinion. By order of importance, your God comes first, your family comes second, your business, if you're working, comes third, and somewhat equal with your responsibility as a board. You took an oath to uphold U.S. and Michigan laws, to act ethically in an open and transparent manner, and to act in the best interest of the residents. One of the comments earlier about lack of communication, I'd like to see the township adopting at least quarterly, and I think that at one time we did a monthly newsletter. People don't know what's going on because you guys don't tell them what's going on. And I think this has been a great meeting. You've trimmed some time down. I think you can trim it down first. People don't attend these because, and I think I like the rearrangement of your agenda because they're long and boring and in the past been needlessly argumentative. I'm really happy with tonight's action to pull the fire truck because that needs to have an actual discussion before we even decide that we need a new fire truck, let alone a replacement, or will a used one work? We've gone on a bunch of assumptions and quite honestly, I think bad advice, and we need to make sounder decisions. It shouldn't have gotten as far as it did. There are 2 board members that have had their chairs for, I believe, over 8 and over 16 years. And in that period of time, you should have learned how to operate and proper procedure and to do things in the open. And I would be embarrassed if I were in your shoes and hadn't understanding the responsibilities and carrying them out. If you can't understand the responsibilities, if you're not going to put in the time to understand the responsibilities, you should step down and let somebody else take your place. When I stepped down from the board, it was for personal reasons. And one of the things, those of you that were here will remember I said, I'm stepping down from the board, I'm not going away. Those of you that remember the gravel pit fight from 5-6 years ago, I will fight. One of the advantages that I have not being on the board anymore is I don't have to follow board rules. And I will follow through on challenging you in court if need be, which I've done in the past very successfully. And in the past, I've given you fair warning. Depending on how you act, I'm not sure that I will anymore, because what happened at last month's meeting was outrageous, should never have happened, should never have been proposed, and certainly never been voted for. So things seem to be moving in the right direction. I'm very encouraged, but I'm not the only one that's watching. There are a bunch of us that are willing to take action. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Good meeting. Thank you for the new agenda. With that, you guys talked about having the written reports done ahead of time for the board or for the different committees. Do you have a deadline date of when they need to be to the clerk? And is that going to be communicated to the committees so that they know, so that, you know, we're not coming in and seeing some here and everybody has things? So it's just a question. Again, you guys don't have to answer any of it. Your BSNA training, awesome. What about opening it up to the other townships to help pay for it? It said that you can allow up to 15 different people. You know, there might be other new people out there in the surrounding townships that can take advantage of this and help share in the cost of that. Just a suggestion. One thing that I don't think that you guys acted on, and it's for the open house for the parks, is going to happen. You talked about putting it in the paper, or Peggy asked to be put in the paper. She wrote up something, but it was never acted upon. So is it just going to automatically happen? And then you guys, oh, we got to pay for it later on down the road? You know, that's, you got to kind of follow through if you're going to do it. Also, I guess I'm a little confused. The zoning administrator is just a hired person. I'm the website person. No, I don't get paid. the zoning person has to put in a report, but you don't want the website person to put in a report? I'm asking for clarification, because if you don't want it, I don't need to spend my time doing it. I spend enough time doing the website with criticisms, but is not very useful. So, yeah, I would like some clarification on that. I think that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, public comment is closed at 8:05.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Good job. That's the shortest meeting I've ever been to. I think. I opened up the treasurers when I was doing one on the tax to all the other treasurers and nobody came because the only ones that needed any training were using the cloud program.
Oh, okay.
But if there's any new supervisors.
That's what I was
Did you figure out what you're gonna do with the overpayment?
That's not my job currently, that Rose is doing payroll right now, that's hers, and we do have to take it back.
You brought it up that you brought it up last month.
I brought it back. I was gonna find out if it was legal to
Right.
pay everybody or not, and it's
Motion, and then
not.
I brought it up, and then I had questioned, that's, I agreed to
No,
do
we
that.
cannot keep the money from you. I mean, we cannot, you let the people keep the money. We can't. So if we were to front, I'll just tell you the laws, because I learned a lot.
Right, but we didn't talk about it, that's, so I'll just bring it
Oh,
up.
They haven't signed the consent form.
We don't have to take a consent form. If we overpaid them, we can just take it from, at the MTA, we can just take it. Well, then you have to ask them
No, no, I
to
was
take
just-
it,
I
but
was
if
just
it's
wondering,
an
'cause you brought it up
accidental pay
last
them,
month, and-
we can take it back. The county's accidental. It's our obligation. If we want to prepay them for sick day, we have to pay them 72 hours each upfront. That's what we have to pay them. There's no little bits. We have to take that money back. Otherwise, we're gonna be in trouble for not giving them 72 hours.
So our attorney was wrong.
Of course he is.
Our
I
attorney.
mean, no, I mean.
It's
I
just
mean,
how
yes, he is.
4 different people.
Why,
interpret
I,
the law, but
Rose, I already
was trying to
checked all
find
these.
out what you found out.
Oh, you're giving me the checks. I got you. Okay. You said you weren't gonna give the checks at this.
I didn't sign.
That you were not gonna give for 24 or something.
No, you said that they needed, we were talking about how.
I just said it's easier to give them that way, but your thing says you're not. That you just passed to me. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm just gonna sign it.
We can revise that at the next meeting.
Yes.
How soon is the new system gonna get?
They did not give me any details at all. I have to call them.
And you're more than welcome.
A laptop that's driving YouTube channel.
They didn't ask for those papers. You also didn't ask about why you hired me to stay.
I bought one that's purposely overkill.
Sorry, Ben.
I don't know, do I have to have the meeting minutes from this meeting? Fire truck or do I just?
Draft should be fine. Oh, well, which would be ready hopefully by the end of the meeting.
5 days. That's what they told us.
No.
5 days.
8 days. 8 days for the meeting, 5 days for the
For the what?
approved minutes are 5 days.
I said 5 days.
Or 8 days.
I think Katie told me 8 days too.
Oh, I thought they said 5.
So,
It must be the,
okay, so.
But Ted, what happened last time is Ted got them to me after I'd already sent them. I have him doing my spell checking and whatnot.
Gotcha, okay.
so he did the minutes for you?
No, I sent them to him to look over.
Oh, got ya.
And he didn't get it to me until it was too late.
Gotcha.
Got ya. Okay.
Because Linda used to always do it for me.
She never sent it to me because I would find all the mistakes I find every time, even after you send it to somebody else. And then it would be that having to do it in a
Because
board meeting.
Linda was always here on
Right.
Tuesday when they were due. She'd go through and I'd change them.
You sent them to Dave. Did he ever get one right? No, you're sending them to Ted.
I never saw. Yeah.
Did he miss things both times? Yes. Send them to the person who. And save us all some time here. Right? Huh?
Why?
You want me to have to say something every month?
No, sorry.
You know, there have been months where nothing has been said.
I don't remember that for a long time. Oh, because way back in the beginning when I was afraid to talk, because I would.
No,
be
no,
afraid
even,
first
even,
meeting.
even after that, but,
I'm sure there has, I'm just, I mean.
So,
tomorrow, isn't that one?
I know, that's why I tell all of our employees, if you make a mistake and you learn from it, I don't care. You keep making the same mistake. you're not gonna have a-
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that you got a 5-0 vote on it. Because they're like cockroaches. They'll do anything that they can to play turn the lights on. And, you know, I have to be